Morning guys, Scotian Emotion coming at you. Today I'm going to show you a little video on how to get your snow blowers to stop from surging. I have an Ariens Sno Tek 20-inch snow thrower, single stage, and I'll show you how to do that. Here we go. Okay guys, here's my Ariens Sno Tek 20-inch single stage, and really all the 20 means there is that's a 20-inch bucket on the front. Alright, now I'm going to tip it up on its bucket, and I'm going to show you how to get that stopped from surging, and also just how to clean the carb and those kind of things. Alright, here we go. Okay guys, now here we go. As you can see, I got the snow blower tilted up on its bucket, so it's just a little easier to see the carb and the screws and all those things. Now if you look at right here, this is the carb bowl. Alright, this little screw right here is called a dump screw or a drain screw if you want, just to drain the gas out of the carb bowl itself. This bolt right here is actually just a bolt to hold the carb bowl on. It's not a jet on these machines like on the old Tecumsehs and your Briggs & Strattons or whatever. I believe this particular snowblower here has a Honda engine in it. So that bolt right there is just to hold the bowl on. Okay, there's no jet, no nothing. Everything's fixed on this machine. Alright, so I'm going to take those bolts off and show you the carb inside. Okay guys, now if you look at that, see that's just a 10mm nut to hold that bowl on. I'm going to take that off real quick. Take the carb bowl off, and now you'll see the carbureting, the float, and I'll show the emulsifier tube and everything like that too. I'll show you that just a sec. Okay, so now if you can see, here's my float, and there's just my little pin to hold it in. I'm going to pull that pin out, and then you'll see that float will drop right off. I'm going to try and catch it in my hand, though I don't want it to drop on the ground on me. Alright, so if I take that pin out, okay, and I'll just set that aside, and then if I just pull that float down, you'll see that the needle and everything is attached to the float. Okay, there's no clip on these ones, everything's just one piece. Up inside of that tube there is your emulsifier tube, or it's a jet up in there, and I will actually take that out and show you that too. Okay guys, if you look, there's the emulsifier tube up in there, the jet, one of the main jets, and it's also just held in there with like a flathead, little threaded nut of some kind. So I'm going to take that out and I'll show you that emulsifier tube, what it looks like. Okay guys, I've unscrewed the nut up inside that emulsifier. Now an easy way to get that out is I could just tilt the machine back down and let it fall out. But if I look up in here in the carb, in the butterfly, if I open that up, you'll see the emulsifier tube right, that little brass piece right there. If I just push that down, see that? You can see that real good or not, but that brass piece, that's right in there. I push that down with a screwdriver, I'll be able to get that out. Okay, so just a sec. Okay guys, now if you look at that right there, that is the emulsifier tube and the nut that goes up inside of your carb tube right there. Okay, so I'm just going to hit that with some carb cleaner, and then I'll put it back in the machine. Now I'll give you a better look at it. I'm doing this with my cell phone, so I'm sure the focus will take a while to get in. There's the emulsifier tube, or one of the main jets, and there's your nut just to hold it in. So that's what you'll screw out up inside that tube to just drop that jet. It should just drop out because these ones don't have any washers or anything like that on. So like I said before, I'm going to hit that with some carb cleaner and then put it back in the carb, spray some up inside the carb tube, and I'll put it all back together. And then I'll show you what I actually did to get my machine from surging. Okay guys, now because I only got two hands, I'll show you this real quick. I don't have my assistant helping me today, my daughter. So there's that emulsifier tube. I took it out, and as you can see, if it focuses in a little better, there's a bunch of little small holes in it. Now all I took was a wire strand off of a clean barbecue brush or just a wire brush, and I poke those holes out with the wire brush just to make sure they're not clogged up and clean. Also the one in the center, poke a wire brush through that, and then just hit it with some carb cleaner and put it back in. Okay guys, so now I got the emulsifier tube back up inside, cleaned it all out with some carb. Now I'm just going to put the float back up in. If you can see, you just got to kind of get the needle to set right in that little hole. Okay, just like that. Slide the pin in to the side, and should be good to go. Okay guys, I got my float on there. Now I'm just going to attempt to get the pin in as good as I can anyway with one hand and show you that. Let's see if I can get it in there. Wiggle it in, and there you go. Try and keep it as even as you can, right, side to side. Okay, so like that, keep it side to side. Okay, there's the float back in. I put the main jet back up in the emulsifier, and now I just have to put the carb bowl back on, and that center bolt, sorry, and then I'm going to show you how I got it to stop from surging. Just a sec. Okay guys, now if you look at the carb bowl, all right, the carb bowl only goes on these machines one way. There's no wrong or right way of putting these specific bowls on. They're not like the old Tecumseh ones where you had that little step in it, and the step had to be pointing a certain way to get your float to actually work right. So this one's just a round kind of bowl. You could spin that, put it on whatever. Most people want the drain plug screw there pointing out toward them, so it's just easier to get at. Okay guys, so there you have it. That's cleaning the carb basically. Put the bowl back on, put the nut back on. Now I'm going to show you that low fuel jet, or slow fuel jet they call it, and that's what was causing my engine to surge, and I'll show you that in just a sec. Okay guys, here we go. If you look right here on the side, if you look at that black screw right there, it's just a black plastic Phillips head screw, and that's just to control your idle plate there. This red one underneath of it is the actual slow jet fuel jet, and if you take that out, I had to drill a hole in that to get my engine to stop from surging, and I'll show you that. Okay guys, if you can see, I'll take that black screw out. It's just a plastic, it's a plastic idle screw just to control the idle, how far you want it. And if you look at that plastic screw, the red one, that is actually the slow jet. So all you do is you just kind of pry it up out of its seat, like that. Just be careful, it's only plastic. Okay, pull it out with your fingers. There you go. Now if you look at that, that is my, they call it a slow fuel jet. Some people call it low fuel jet, slow fuel jet, all right? If you look up inside of it, there's the orifice up inside of it that I had to actually drill a hole in. And I mean, the hole was real tiny. I believe I used 1/64th drill bit to open that orifice up a little bit, so it was even smaller than that. So find the smallest drill bit that you can find. 1/32 is probably a little bit too big. All right, so I'd go as small as you can find, drill that hole out. All right, put it back in, and my washers there's a little chewed up, but it's still gonna be okay. Put it back in, and that's what I got to stop my snowblower from surging. I'll put it all back together, put some gas in it, and then I'll show you how it sounds now. Thanks. Also guys, if you want to do a real good cleanup on your carb and get it working just right, you should also check this fuel filter that's up inside the gas tank here. Okay guys, so what I did was I took the little fuel line off it, loosened it off, and should come right out of the tank. Let me just get it started there, right? Let me see. Use my other hand. Okay guys, now if you look at that, instead of me taking the whole gas tank and everything all off, I put a little dent right there in the side of it. just so I could screw that off to show everybody. So, I mean, you know, I don't really care. So, all right, now let me see if I can get that off. Now, you take this out of the tank. Okay, guys, I finally got that loosened off, but I had to loosen all the nuts on the gas tank just to get it past so I could get that filter off. Okay, and if you pull that filter out, that's what she looks like right there. Okay, guys, again, I apologize for the camera work, but here's what that fuel filter looks like. You take it out of the gas tank, and that's just one more good thing to check and make sure that's good and clean. If not, replace it. Now I'm going to screw that all back in there, fasten it all down good and tight, put some gas in it, start it up, and show you how it runs. Okay, guys, I got the machine all back together. The only thing I got to put on now is I got to put my cover back on here, my heat shield on the front, and I'm going to start it up and see how she sounds. Okay, guys, got it all back together. Get ready to fire it up. And this is what was happening. When I would start it up and run it, it would only run on half throttle, and all the surging and everything would stop. So like I said, I drilled a hole in that low fuel jet, and that fixed the problem. I tried cleaning the carbs numerous times, replaced the fuel filter, replaced the gas. None of that helped. I think it's actually a design flaw in these Ariane snow throwers. So if you have the problem, I'm telling you, find a small drill bit and drill a hole in that little fuel jet, and you can't go wrong. I'm going to crank it up now and see how it sounds. Just a sec. Okay, there you go, guys. See, I got it on a choke. Had to have it there to get it to run so it wouldn't surge. Now I can go full out. There you go, guys. That's what you do to get it from stop all that surging. Sounds like a charm. I know the video wasn't really shaky, guys, but thanks for watching.